Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning for those in the US. We'll just give it another couple of minutes and just let everyone get signed on, and then we'll start our webinar today. Fantastic. Oh, I think most people are here then. Great. Oh, thank you very much. Welcome to our first webinar in what we hope will be a series of webinars over the next few weeks on WeChat and STM publishing in China. Thank you for joining and taking the time to be with us. Obviously, hope you are all well and doing well during this extraordinary time wherever you are. And I'll start off with a few brief introductions. I'm Andrew Smith. I'm the Product and Marketing Director here at the Charlesworth Group. I joined back in January, just before the start of the pandemic. But previously to Charlesworth, I've been in STM publishing for over 12 years, both in editorial roles, but also in product roles. My focus here at Charlesworth is working with our both product and marketing teams, both here in the UK, but also in Beijing as well. And I'd also like to introduce our speakers for today. Helen Tian, our General Manager for China.
Hello, everyone. This is Helen Tian. I'm the General Manager of Charlesworth China. I'm overseeing all the functionalities and business units in China, including the sales representation, the China expert services, China marketing, and also the author services. It's very nice to meet everyone online, and I hope you enjoy the webinar.
And I'd also like to ask Kelly to introduce herself as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
We can.
Hello, yes. Everyone. Yeah. I'm Kelly Zhang from Charlesworth Beijing office, and I've joined Charlesworth nearly 4 years. And my role is mainly to oversee the Charlesworth author service business in China.
And just to mention, Kelly has kindly joined us today because we had some Wi-Fi issues in China early this morning. So just to make sure that we've got two presenters on board, Kelly will jump in if we lose Helen at any point. So thank you very much. I'll kick off with a bit of a brief introduction. The aim for today's session is obviously WeChat 101, everything you need to know about China's super app. And what we want to do is really take you on a journey through WeChat and show you the app and how Chinese users use it. We want to show you a little bit about Charlesworth and how STM publishers are also using it to drive engagement and build communities through WeChat with Chinese authors. The format really is going to be a Q&A between Helen and myself. I've got a few questions that I'd like to run through. I've also collated some questions that we've been asked over the past few weeks from different presentations, but also we'll try and make this a little bit interactive as well. So there is a question box here. I'll keep an eye on that throughout the webinar. So do drop questions in as we go along. If we get a chance, we'll ask them as we go through the webinar. If not, we will leave a bit of time at the end to pick those up. And if we get a lot, then obviously we'll follow up at the end as well with maybe a bit of a handout. It's fair to say at Charlesworth we've really got a passion for WeChat. Just to kind of give you a brief introduction, and if we just move to the next slide there, Helen. Just to give you a brief introduction about Charlesworth for those who don't know us. We've in fact been around for 90 years, and in years gone by we were known for typesetting and for printing. But our business today is very much focused in two areas. Firstly, we offer expert editing author services to authors globally to help them get published, and also through our new services such as infographics and video abstracts to promote their work and to make sure that their work has impact once published. The other side of the business is we've had a presence in China for over 20 years, where we provide Western publishers with sales representation, marketing and brand management, and also consultation services. So being in this space, we've really lived and breathed all things WeChat, We developed a set of marketing offers that we offer our publishers who represent in the market, offering WeChat services. But we've also developed our own proprietary technology around WeChat, and this technology allows us to integrate with third-party publishing tools such as submission systems. It also allows us to tailor the data in WeChat as well. So what we can offer publishers is a really tailored analytics experience in the English language, so everyone can understand exactly what's going on in WeChat, and you can then measure the impact of that activity, and obviously back to ROI in terms of your marketing budgets. So we've really got quite a deep knowledge of WeChat, both technically, but also in terms of how to use it and how to drive engagement and authorship in the marketing arena. The idea for the webinar really came from a few presentations that we've done over the last few weeks. It's always great to speak with publishers, and especially when we get quite a few people on the line. So when we had some calls with representatives from editorial, publishing, finance, production, I think that the two kind of things always come out from that. And the first is that obviously not everybody has been to China, not everybody knows the Chinese market well. So we always spend a bit of time talking about the WeChat app, the user interface, the UX, explaining why it's maybe similar to WhatsApp, but actually why it's not similar and how it's actually very different to Facebook and to WhatsApp, and really the key differences between that and Western social media. The other side is we also spend a bit of time talking about how we can integrate the different touch points in the author journey using WeChat, and there's often quite a good and exciting conversation about that. So really from those kind of conversations, it got me thinking, let's do a webinar, let's show you the app itself, let's get you into it, let's show you some of the functionality, and then let's kind of tie it back to how as publishers we can use it, how we can drive our authorship and our engagement. So we're going to follow up a little bit later in the summer with some more information around that, using maybe some more publishing case studies and examples. If we do whet your appetite today, we've actually got a great case study which is on our website right now, which is how we partnered with Dove Medical Press to integrate their manuscript submission site. And while it is on our website, we'll also send out a PDF copy for you as well, which you can then share within your organization, and that'll just give you a little bit more information about how we can work with publishers. I also wanted to mention that we're really excited to announce that we'll be integrating with Editorial Manager. So shortly we'll be offering publishers an integration to allow authors to monitor the status of their manuscript submission, all within the WeChat interface. And as we go along, we'll show you actually how this will look based on using our own technology. So of course, we're always happy to talk to you about our technology, to provide a demo, to provide a bit more information about anything that we're going to talk about today. If you don't have a WeChat account as a publisher, or even if you're kind of reevaluating what you're doing in China around author strategy, now is a really good time to do that. It's a really good time to look at getting a WeChat account, because obviously there's a lot going on right now. Presently, institutions are putting together their policies in response to the Education Ministry's documents from February, which stated they were moving away from both the journal impact factor and article output as an evaluation metric. So right now, institutions are busy formulating their responses for the end of July. Once those new policies are in place, they'll start to impact from August, which obviously isn't that far away. And while we believe for most prestigious titles these are likely to be unaffected, certainly for impact journals with lower impact factors, for mega journals, there's likely to be some changes. There's possibly going to be a decrease in authorship, but also there's going to be opportunities for both domestic Chinese titles, but also maybe other journal titles that haven't had a large Chinese authorship base in the past. So really, this is a really great time to actually evaluate your China author strategy, your China engagement strategy. We're going to show you your WeChat, but there's certainly a number of other tools and areas that we can support and help with as well. So really, that was all I kind of wanted to do as an opening introduction, because I think what we want to do is obviously get you into the app and show you the application. So I just wanted to kick off with the first couple of questions, which are more broad overview, just to kind of give you an idea of how big this app is. Helen, I'll kind of pass over to you here, but I kind of wanted I just wondered if you could kind of just give us a very brief overview of WeChat's history and how it started and where we are now.
Yeah, sure. So WeChat is launched. It was launched in 2011 by the giant internet company, which is called Tencent. Back at that time, it was launched at the very beginning as a messaging app, as a messaging tool. So for people to send text, photo, and voice to each other, especially to the people they know. And then later on, the WeChat introduces the moments, introduces the QR code, etc., the WeChat official account to make it more like a social media platform. And later on, the WeChat, they released a new functionality into the payment. So that help the WeChat app becomes a super app for everyone in China to be used in their daily life for all kinds of things, not just living but also working, their social network, etc., etc. So that is the brief history about WeChat.
And I think we've got a slide just to kind of give an overview, haven't we?
Yes, exactly. So if we look at can you see my screen?
I can, yeah, it's moving. You're okay.
Yeah, okay. So here from this chart, we can see the world's most used social platforms, and WeChat is definitely one of the top 5. Compared with Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, WeChat is the number 5. But remember, all the other 4 are actually a global social media platform, and WeChat is very dominant with the Chinese users. Now, the monthly active users for WeChat is 1.151 billion Chinese people, or it's not necessarily just people based in China. It can also be Chinese people overseas or some foreigners, like our colleagues in UK. They're also using WeChat. So together with WeChat, we can see a couple of other social platforms, which is also very popular. So Douyin and TikTok, QQ, Qzone, and Sina Weibo and Kuaishou. They are also one of the popular social platforms. Just want to mention that WeChat, QQ, and Qzone, they all belong to the internet company Tencent, the giant internet company.
And just in terms of those competitors, even though it's a competitive market, WeChat is still miles ahead according to that graph. And looking at some of the statistics here, it really is more than enough, isn't it? It's a real dominant ecosystem that has a huge amount of attention and engagement within China.
Yes, if you look at the analysis about the popular social platforms in China, we can see WeChat here with the daily active users, 765 million daily active users. And the other platforms, Weibo is the similar equivalent to Twitter. Taobao and Tmall is e-commerce platform equivalent to Amazon. Xiaohongshu is a social community specialized in cosmetics. Douyin and Kuaishou, they are short video platforms, which is quite hot recently. Bilibili is a long video platform, started from the animation and comics, but now it also expands to all the living areas, including the online education. And from these data, we can see WeChat is still the dominant one with the daily active user and more than 1 billion monthly active users. If we see the usage per day, we can see there are 4 WeChat, Douyin, Kuaishou, and Bilibili. 4 of them, they are occupying the users more than 1 hour every day. The users spend more than 1 hour, 82 minutes on WeChat. And if we look at the daily active user, out of the monthly active user, WeChat is still the top one. 81% of them, they are quite actively every day, actually. And 7-day retention ratio, again, WeChat. Nobody is leaving WeChat. Everyone is using WeChat. So that's how WeChat is playing an important role in people's daily life.
And it's probably worth saying that these are figures from March, and obviously, while March isn't that long ago, obviously, it feels in many ways worlds away. I just wonder if you wanted to kind of comment a little bit just on how usage has changed during lockdown and the rise of WeChat during that period.
Yes, so obviously in the past few months, the whole of the world, we were, conquering this COVID outbreak. And in China, we were slightly before the rest of the world. And this is the April data. We can see the social media use by country. And here, this is China. this is average. We can see in China, there is 49% of increase. So people spend more time using the social media during the April. And these covers the people aged from 16 to 64. And so that lockdown, everyone cannot leave the home. They stay at home and they spend more time on social media, online, on mobile phone. And there are some researches showing that people are spending more time on online education and also e-commerce. And a lot of them are actually done through the WeChat and the other social media platforms.
Yeah, and that chimes to what we saw as we were running a lot of online education through WeChat aimed at author education.
Exactly.
Just spiked, didn't it, through kind of April, May in China, and equally actually we're seeing that in the rest of the world now on other platforms. So just to kind of round this section out, I just wonder if you could kind of comment on STM publishers using WeChat at the moment and what you've kind of seen over the last few months.
Yes, as I mentioned, WeChat released this WeChat official account functionalities, and since then, WeChat is playing a role for the companies or for the communities to establish their own branding and set up their own official account, so that to connect the content to the commercial. And here, from this picture, we can see that a lot of STM publishers, they have already created their WeChat official accounts, and with this account, they are established their thought leadership in the certain subject areas. And they are also using their WeChat official account to post articles, to create a content, and to keep engagement with their end users, researchers, and authors in order to drive to enhance their branding awareness, to drive the usage to their content, or even drive the submissions to their journals. So here we can see a lot of, you see Elsevier, Springer Nature, Water Schooler, ACS, AIP, Dub Press, Wiley, etc., etc. So a lot of more and more publishers are creating their official accounts in the WeChat.
Great. So should we take a look at the app itself? For the next part, what we thought we'd do is really just kind of walk through the app, so you can see from a Chinese user point of view exactly how they're using it, what they're seeing, and when we have conversations about menu items and things like that, actually it puts a bit of context around some of that for you.
Yeah, sure. Let me show my phone screen.
Yeah, and just while we're waiting, we got a question to say, will there be a recording available afterwards? Yes, there will. We'll get a link sent out to everybody, so you can rewatch this at your leisure.
Okay.
And I just wondered if we could kind of start with the messaging side of things. So that's obviously one of the biggest functions, and really it's kind of the starting point for a lot of us. So do you want to kind of talk through the messaging side, and then how you can then start to access content from there?
Yeah, sure. You can see here, I've already got some messages during the webinar. And now I'm opening up my WeChat app. And here we can see in this interface, the first menu is called Messages. And I can interact with people through messaging function with different types of accounts. For example, I can interact with my colleagues. Say here, this is my colleagues. We are talking about some business or some life, or I can interact with my friends here with sending messages. I can show you some functionality here. I can share my photos. I can take a picture. I can have the video and audio conference call with her. I can sharing my location with her. I can send her a red pocket as well. So this is the individual interaction. And I can show you a group interaction. So for example, I'm in one of these group. You can see in this group there are 499 members, and actually this is a group about medical communication, about ASCO online conferences. And here within the group, the people, they can share a poster, they can share a message, they can share an article about a COVID vaccine, etc., etc. So this is the way we call group marketing. We check group marketing, and because people with the same background, with the same interest, they will join a certain group. And with this group marketing, we can effectively target the same background of people with the same topic. So that's a very effective way. And there is another.
Sorry, Helen, I was just going to say there's lots of academic groups as well, isn't there? This is how academics have conversations. They set up groups, and there's a huge number of these groups within WeChat, and academics put a lot of time into that form of communication.
Yeah, that's the way that group of people who are doing social on WeChat. If, for example, if I attend an offline conference or an offline seminar, I will also, the organizer usually create a group. So people attend the conference, scan the QR code, and they join the group. And then later on, the group organizer can share the PowerPoints, can share the videos, and share all the relevant information with the group members. And the group members, they can discuss and interact with each other because they all know that we both joined this, say, academic conference, and we are all interested in certain topics. That's how a group is working, and how people are social with the strangers or not known people through group.
Yeah, and do you want to talk through the different accounts, the service account and the subscription account? Because I suppose this is kind of the way to the content, isn't it, of how you typically will engage with different content on WeChat. And it's interesting how those appear within the interface depending on the type of account you've got.
Yeah, so actually official account is playing a third type of people that I'm interacting with on WeChat messaging. I introduced the individual interaction messaging. I introduced the group. Now here is the official account. So for example, this is our Charlesworth also service WeChat official account. This is a service account. So everything, the new articles that this account is posting, it will push a notification to me. It will show a small red one here telling me that there is a new article posted. So then I can click into, I can read the content, I can share, and I can vow, etc. I can interact with the content. And there is another type of the account. It's called subscription account. All those subscription accounts are folded here in this folder. And you can see if you click here, you can add a star to the favorite account that you are following. For example, here, this is a Dove Press account. The difference between subscription account and the service account is that you can post many articles every day through subscription account, but you are not allowed to post every day on service account. Even though it performs like a friend, but you are only allowed to post one time a week with multiple articles. And service account, Dove one, is a subscription account. You can post every day.
And that's the key difference there, isn't it? The service account, that appears like a friend, so you're getting a lot of eyeballs in terms of people seeing that. The subscription account, you need to go into it as a process, but equally you can post content in there more regularly.
Yeah, it has slightly different engagement frequency and also engagement style. So if you have more content and you would like to repeat it every day to impress your followers and to keep them engaged, then the frequency is playing a role there.
Yeah. And I just want to take a look at some of the menu items as well. Maybe if we take a look at our accounts, we could show the menu items and also how we can do the push and pull notifications, because it's not just content that you can put through these accounts. You can really engage people with different options, can't you?
Yes. So if we look at the menu items here, for example, for the Dove Press account, there are 3 menus, and under each menu there are sub menus. So for example, here, this menu actually is integrated with Charlesworth developed WeChat Gateway tool. So this tool is helping connect the publisher's WeChat account with the publisher's backend peer review and submission system. So people, the followers who are also your authors, who want to check their article status, they can easily log in once and then get push and pull notifications about the article status. So then you are using this gateway tool to to push the article status change to your authors 24 hours times 7 days at any time when the status is changed. And you can also have the engagement from the author end. When the author submit a manuscript number, then it will return immediately the article status. I can give a demo later on in our Charlesworth Author Services account. Should I do that now?
Yeah, let's go along to our account, and what we can show here is similar to a publisher's account with Charlesworth. We obviously offer editing services, and we've integrated these with our WeChat account. So if you submit an article for language polishing to Charlesworth, you can actually monitor the status of that through your WeChat account, and you can query at what milestone it is in the process. So yeah, would you mind showing us that, Helen?
Yeah. Yes. So this is our Charlesworth Author Services account, and I leave this one here. I just want to show you that this is actually the one-time log on information. So once you log on here through the WeChat gateway tool, next time when you want to check your status, article status, you just type your article number, and here we go. You can see immediately the chatbot is returned Charlesworth essential author services and the number of words count and the expected return date of your manuscript, and then the status is with editor now. So this is the way how this tool is helping your authors and your followers to stick to your WeChat account, and then to get a very convenient way to receive the notifications, and they can also actively check their article status. So help them to stick to your account, and then later on you can use your marketing content to keep the long-term engagement and long-term interaction with them.
Absolutely, and with Editorial Manager, this is the type of service that we'll be offering for publishers with Editorial Manager accounts, whereby we can design the same functionality and you'll get similar messages for those who've submitted an article. I just wondered, could we take a look at the on the Charlesworth account, our menu around pricing as well, because again, you can tailor these menus. So for Charlesworth, one of the things that we have here is if you want to know how much our services cost, we've got a menu item right here that just quickly allows you to see that.
Yes, so here, this is the inquiry. The first one is the pricing inquiry. And you see the chatbot is asking, please enter your manuscript word count. And I can enter 6,000, and it return immediately what kind of packages, service packages, and how much is that? And what is the expected return manuscript date? Is that 10 days or 6 days? With different return days, there will be a different pricing for 6,000 word count article.
Yeah, and obviously this can be tailored. So what we've shown you here is the logic, but if you want any different kind of functionality that's similar to this, so maybe thinking about APC prices, thinking about additional services that you want to offer, we can look at how we can all do this within WeChat.
Yes, it's all designed and customized based on the publisher's demands at the back end, and it's easily defined in the back end.
Fantastic. So I was going to ask a question really about how academics access and use content. And one of the things that we talk a lot about is key opinion leaders, and I'd be just interested to kind of talk through the role of key opinion leaders in China and how actually on WeChat they can help you to drive engagement.
Yeah, so key opinion leaders in our science, technology, and medical area, they are the very influential senior professor or PI in a certain subject areas. So I can actually give an example, give a case study actually. For one of the publishers' account, there is a special issue calling for paper. So that article, actually, we are engaging with the guest editor who is going to guest edit in the special issue and let a KOL, the guest editor, to spread the articles and share within his network. And for that single one article post on the WeChat account, we've got more than 1,000 views. because of the KOL is very actively spreading the word and engaging with their network within the researcher community. So that is usually the way that we are engaging with Chinese, for example, Chinese editorial board members, or Chinese associate editors, Chinese editors, Chinese guest editors, or even Chinese authors. So everyone, they have their own network within a certain subject areas, and they have attended many conferences. So they are they are actually the advocator and also the people who are sharing, who can share your content to the relevant people. And that's why we would like to use the KOL as one of the strategy to help engage with more people and build up the followers, and in the meantime to maximize your return on investment, to maximize the branding awareness and the later on engagement with them.
Yeah, and sharing's a great point, because it's not as straightforward as just sharing content, is it? There's different ways of doing it. Could we take a look at a piece of content, and could you show us the different options for sharing and what those mean? Because I think when you're looking at the analytics and understanding that return on investment, understanding actually the power of the different sharing mechanisms within the app is really important.
Yeah, we can take Charlesworth also services account as an example. So take this one as an example. This is an article about how to write a review article. If I find this article very interesting, so there are some tips here and there are some suggestions, I can share it. If I click here, 3 dots, you can see there are many ways for me to share this article with my network. The first one is share with individual person or share with a group. So if I click here, I can select a person or I can select a group of people that I would like to share the article. That's how you see my previous demo, the group articles people shared. And if I click here, moments, I can share this article in my moments. So all people in my network who are checking my moments, they can see the article. I can share something, this is very useful, etc., and I publish, and it will show up in my moments. I can show you later on how it looks like. And there's another way to share. It's called wow. So wow means I think this content is really insightful. It's very useful. It's with deep insights. People should come and read. I will click wow, and I can show you. Say here, for example, I can also leave my thoughts here, and I click. I can show you how it looks like in wow. If you go to this menu.
Wow is a bit like a reading list, isn't it? So if you're an academic and you're wowing an article, essentially kind of creating your own reading list. It's a little bit more serious, whereas moments is a bit more like your kind of Facebook feed. So that's more your friends, would you say? Where the wow is maybe a bit more formal and more work based.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show how it looks like here. So remember, I just wowed on this article, and here. If you go to the discovery, wow, have a look here, and you can see my friends who are wowing on the articles, including me. So it can be, for example, this one is about, this is from Zhejiang University Press. So it's about how to get a international influential academic journal, how to build up or create a good international influential journal. Etc. So here you can see people are vowing the insightful content that trying to attract people to read, and it looks slightly different in my moments. In the moments, if you go to check moments, you can see people are sharing articles or sharing their life, their keys, paintings, or sharing, Beijing city, the city views, etc., etc. And here is the advertisement. This is an advertisement for primary school students for their mathematics study. This is obviously targeting my daughter. So this is how Moments is working. And Moments is not necessarily just sharing articles. It's like sharing everything around you, live, photos, videos, and can be insights article as well. So that's why, Andrew, you mentioned it's slightly different. In Wow, it's more like a list of read, and for Moments, it's more like know about me, and then people can interact. People can click like, I like it, or leave a comment regarding the sharing content.
And this is where we can help, isn't it? Because obviously we can help in terms of content development, working with those key opinion leaders, but then also helping a publisher understand some of the analytics around this through our own analytics dashboard. As well, followers are important. Obviously, sharing can have a huge impact in terms of the engagement on the content and the readership.
Yes, actually, our dashboard can capture all these data and make it very easy to check and easy to report way, so that you can see how the content is performing, how much content has been read through 100%, and then how many followers and how many views on each article, how many views, how many shares, etc. All from the dashboard analytics function.
And it's probably worth saying as well, obviously, content marketing China is a very fierce and competitive area, isn't it? So actually looking at those analytics and reacting quickly is a key part of the game here.
Yes.
Great. Well, I think what would be useful would be, I think, to look at another area of the app. So one of the areas that we've got quite a bit of experience in is around mini apps, and they really allow to kind of build some really different content experience, don't they? I just wonder if you could kind of talk through what a mini app is and the benefits, and maybe show one of our mini apps.
Yes, yeah, mini app actually is a function released by WeChat in 2017. And since then, it's getting very, very popular. There are millions and millions of mini app going on at a moment. A lot of companies and a lot of e-commerce companies, they are using mini app to do the e-commerce within the WeChat environment. So the goal for WeChat to launch the mini app is to stop user jumping outside WeChat and jump to the other apps to fulfill their demands. Actually, they want people to stay within WeChat environment, and then they can still fulfill all the functions, or they can still place an order, they can still pay the bill within WeChat. So I can give you a demo or example about a WeChat mini app that we built for Dove Press. And here we go. So for Dove Press, we are building this mini app mainly to store and sharing and broadcasting the video abstracts that authors submitted to Dove Press journals. So in this mini app, you can see there are subject areas and journal titles. And here, this is a video abstract that the author submitted to a journal. And here you can make it a favorite video, or you can click I like it to interact with this video. And here, this is a journal, oncotargets and therapy, and you can see all the video abstracts related to this journal uploaded here and spread and viewed by the audience who are reading or either reading your WeChat account and direct to mini app, or through other way to access your mini app.
Fantastic, thank you, Helen. It's a great authors, and one of the other areas we use it for is author education. So we've got different recourses, don't we, that we break our author education bite-sized bits that you can access via our app.
Yes, we also built up mini app, mini program for our own. So it's called WeCourse. And in WeCourse, we are storing 50 to 60 short videos focusing on the tricks and tips on scientific writing, or how to prepare your cover letter, how to get a peer review, how to get a peer reviewer comments, and how to make the statistic reasonable in your articles, etc., etc. So here is an example about our own videos. You can see this one, how to get your academic speech influential. This is a short video here. I already favorite that I can go to learn. I can play it directly within the mini app. So mini app is playing a role actually to extend the WeChat account content. With a WeChat account, you are using the content, the text and photo, the article post to interact with your end users, and mini app can extend that with more formats and also with more functionalities. A lot of e-commerce store, they are using mini app to do the transactions. They're also using mini app to keep the loyalty program. So mini app is actually playing the same functionalities as app, but within WeChat program. It will make your followers more stickier to your account, and then you can with the content that you are marketing your products, services, you can convert them directly within mini app into the sales.
In terms of WeChat over the last couple of years, and the number of mini apps is just grown exponentially.
And Andrew, I cannot hear you.
Hi, Helen. Can you hear me now?
You're back.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I was interested in just taking a look at the search function, because I think everyone knows the importance of a Baidu search in China, and obviously they are the dominant player. But WeChat search has been improved towards the back end of last year, and it's becoming quite a powerful tool. Certainly from a content point of view, you can really drive engagement through WeChat search, whereas a couple of years ago that wasn't the case. So it'd be useful just to see that briefly.
Yeah, actually, we all know that in China, the search engine, dominant search engine is used to be Baidu, and Baidu is capturing all the information from the website on laptop or on mobile phone. But in Tencent, in WeChat, it's a closed ecosystem. So all the content posted on WeChat, it can be official account, it can be moments, it can be mini app. They are not searchable by Baidu. So you cannot find out the WeChat content information from Baidu search engine. And that's why it's necessary to have built-in search functionalities within WeChat. And here it is on the top of the messaging interface. And well, I just, for example, we search a publisher, and you see we have some personal relationship or persons that is with Hindawi that we are connecting to, and here comes the WeChat account, and if we click search, it will find all the information within WeChat environment. Here, this is all of them, and we can break it down to WeChat official account. So this is the Hindawi WeChat account, and we can find the articles mentioning Hindawi here, and you can see most of them are actually posted by Hindawi official account. So Hindawi is leading the thought leadership and leading the topics around their own branding, you know, creating the content, positive and influential thought leadership content within their own brand. And here is the mini app. Obviously, there is no results. And later on, this is the books and musics and emoji, Q&A, etc., video, etc., etc. So we can find, if we would like to find all relevant information, we search here, and we can get all of them listed.
And that's a good point. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a good point that if you're not on WeChat and people are searching for you through WeChat search, it can return your website because it uses Sogu as a search engine there. But ultimately, it will be down to what others have written about you within WeChat is what's going to appear. So actually, through an active content strategy, a WeChat account, you're really able to own your brand. You're able to own the particular areas of strength within WeChat. So actually, you're then driving those users to the content you want them to see, and not necessarily maybe the comments that others have made over the years about you.
Yes, and obviously within WeChat, with all this content that you would like to engage with the followers. So say, for example, for some publishers, they would like to engage with the authors and encourage them to know more about their journals and to attract a submission from authors and from researchers. You can definitely use your content strategy to direct the conversation and direct the content marketing towards that action, towards that direction. And if a publisher would like to drive the usage and drive, enhance the branding, and then later on to secure the subscription or generate the new subscription deals, leads, then that's all back to the content strategy and your goals and your content strategy. You can post your journal most read articles, most cited articles. You can post the most downloadable articles and high impact factor journals, etc., etc. Or it can be very general branding messages like your collaboration with the Chinese famous society, or your partnership with some other companies or some other societies. That all can be done, and that will all be discoverable through WeChat search functionalities.
Great. So we just wanted to spend a couple of minutes just before we move on, just to kind of show some of the other applications of the app, because for those who outside of China have got the international version, you'll be able to access pretty much what we've just shown here. But what you miss, I think, is just actually the scale of this app. And just kind of going back to the start of the presentation when we showed some figures, there's a reason for those figures, isn't there, Helen, in terms of actually what you can do through this app. Really is incredible in terms of running your life, your household, and managing virtually anything you can think of now within that. And I think, to me, that's the thing, that we just don't have a corresponding app that can do all that in the same way WeChat can.
Yeah, and actually that is a very important function that I would like to mention and introduce, is a payment. So without the payment, it's a social media platform. With the payment, it's like everything. So we don't need any other apps, to be honest. If we go outside with the payment function, if I want to buy something in a convenience store, I just click here, there's a QR code, the staff will scan the QR code and the transaction is done. So there's no need to bring the cash with me. If I go out, I can connect this to my credit card or to my debit card, and it will be completed all cashlessly. And here there are more services that WeChat Pay function can offer. For example, to pay your credit card, to pay your mobile phone fee, to do some funds and financial management on WeChat Pay, and to pay your electricity and water, gas, and to buy insurance, to get the healthcare services, to book healthcare services through WeChat, and to buy a coffee. And more, this is the third-party services that is embedded within WeChat. For example, to buy train tickets, book a flight, take a taxi, and go to shopping, food delivery. You can book show tickets or cinema tickets, find the next restaurants close to you, book a hotel, e-commerce, etc. Just give an example. So this is a shopping. This is Jingdong, which is embedded shopping e-commerce platform. So all within WeChat, you can almost done everything around your life. So that's actually, in China, we are already entering the cashless society. We can pay subway, we can pay taxi, pay the mobile bike, etc., etc. So that's why it's so powerful, and that's why people cannot leave and cannot live without WeChat. Yeah, I think that's important for everyone to be aware of.
Yeah, I think it's useful to see, because obviously the app, to me, it looks more like a messaging app, but actually when you're in China and you've got the actual Chinese version, it really is endless in terms of what you can do. And as you mentioned, there's so many new mini programs coming out every day. Brands are obviously really competing both in terms of content strategy, but also in how they're designing their accounts, how they're designing their mini programs. So it really is a huge ecosystem. And if you're not within WeChat, if you're not on WeChat in China, in essence, you're kind of missing out on kind of part of the internet, aren't you, really?
Yeah, if you would like, this is my QR code. You can scan it and add me as your friend.
So thank you very much, Helen. I think that kind of concludes the questions that I had for the webinar. We've got a few that have come through, so I'll kind of start going through the questions that we've got, and if anybody else has got a question they're wanting to ask at this point, just kind of jump onto the question module there. So the first question was really about there's a mix of English and Chinese that obviously we've kind of shown, and what's best practice in terms of engaging academics within China? What would you advise in terms of language there?
I would definitely suggest Chinese as a best language to engage with the followers, even though we are targeting the researchers who can read English, who can even write English fluently. But you know, this is a user behavior. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it shows my network is not working. It's very slow. Okay, even though they are fluent, but the user behavior and user habits is really browsing the Chinese content will save their time and also leave the impression is much higher than reading articles or reading information through English.
Yeah. So, and we can obviously help with that in terms of translation or the creation of content in Chinese.
Yeah, translation is part of that, and also everything you post on the WeChat, it requires some social language polishing. So it's not very we don't tend to make it very difficult to understand. It's make it a little bit easy and social way to express, even though it's a very theoretical theories, you know, or very scientific theories, but we're still trying to make it a social way to deliver that message.
And another question we've got through really is around editorial submission systems. So where we are right now, we've got obviously our partnership with Editorial Manager, so we're moving forward with them. And if you're a publisher using Editorial Manager, we can certainly move forward there. We are having other conversations with all the other major vendors right now. So again, please don't hold back if you're interested in that functionality. We'd be more than happy to talk to you and kind of give you some more details around that. And I suppose a good question that we've received as well is really about authorship. So can we talk a little bit more about authorship? How can you drive authorship from your WeChat followers?
Well, actually, that is something depending on the content strategy. So if we really want to attract the authorship, we would like to engage with them and let them know about our journal, about the special issues that we would like to call for papers, or the regular issues that we would like to call for papers. So we need to let people know the branding about a journal, the branding about a publisher, and then how relevant it is with the researchers' subject areas, and how through your currently published content. So if you are able to post the content that you are publishing and reach through your current existing network, or through the combination of your other marketing tactics, say for example emails, for example offline events, for example online webinars, etc. WeChat cannot be a standalone marketing tool. It has to be integrated and work together with all your marketing tactics in order to deliver the message to your target audience. And once the content is interesting and the content reach the target audience, then you are able to convert that person to be an author or to be a potential future author to your journal to submit an article with you. So yeah, that includes content strategy and also all the marketing tactics, how to promote and target the right person.
And I think content strategy is a key one there, because obviously in terms of the STM space, as we said earlier, you know, we've got 90 years experience within academic publishing. We do a broad array of services, so with that we're really able to kind of help you with that content strategy, really target it towards what your aims and objectives are, and then support you through delivery using the analytics to really actually inform what's working, what needs to maybe change, and then bringing through kind of our wide team experience from our great Beijing team.
Yes.
Fantastic. So I think that just about concludes our webinar today, and I'd just like to say a big thank you to all our attendees for joining wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for spending time with us. As I mentioned at the start, we will send out our Dove case study. So if we've kind of whet your appetite for more around how we can help, then we'll certainly circulate that round. And do obviously contact us with any questions if you've got follow-up questions from the webinar, or if you're more interested in our services and how we can help. Not just with WeChat, but how we could also help around maybe some of the challenges that you're looking at around the change of the research framework within China, around the current situation of funding and COVID. You know, do reach out, because as I mentioned at the start, we do offer a variety of marketing and consulting services that would be more than happy to speak to you with. So there we go. These are our contact details. If you'd like to look at the account, there's our WeChat account there. You can download the app if you're not in China, and you get the international version. So unfortunately, you don't get the shopping experience, but you are able to access the content. You will need somebody who's already signed up for 6 months to get that app started. But again, if you're struggling there, do let us know, and I'm sure we can get you set up so you can explore WeChat. But great, I'll sign off and leave it there. But I'd just like to thank our presenters there today, Helen Tian, our General Manager in China, and Kelly Zhang as well. As I mentioned at the start, we had some technical issues when we did our little run through first thing this morning. So that's why we've kind of had Kelly's been ready to jump in just in case we lost Helen as we did this morning. So thank you, Kelly, for your time, and thank you everybody for your time, and we hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.